JK, how are you today?
Fine. As you said, Paul, last week we have been trying to connect and some technical issue. Now it rectified, I think so. Hi, good. I'm good.
And fingers crossed to the end. Fingers crossed to the end of this interview.
yes.
So we just keep it going. So let's jump straight in. We won't chit chat today.
Yeah, right. Right.
So we've met recently on LinkedIn. Some of your posting was capturing my imagination, and I was very interested into it. And we're going to hopefully we're going to delve into that. But for the benefit of our audience today, can you give us some background into your origin story?
Okay. Let me give a short and sweet about myself. I am a normal engineering background graduate. I started my career as a VFD engineer for tower cranes, other things. Later, I was passionate towards renewable energy. I joined in a company as a solar installation engineer. Then I promoted to a marketing manager. Then I learned gradually upon growth in my career. Then in 2017, my entire career made a turning point. They have been involved into floating solar. Right from normal rooftop, ground-mounted residential solar market, I am entering into a floating solar market, where the companies decided to put a 25 megawatt floating solar plant. So right from there, my passionate renewable energy career started and turned into floating solar platform. Right. So from there, I started as in scratch. That project was in India. It will be a India's first floating solar project, but BHEL has been gone. It got me in the win the race. So they installed first 5 megawatt. We was the second largest megawatt. I mean first largest megawatt project in India. There's a 25 megawatt floating solar project.
And
please.
Go on, JK.
Yeah, it is a private company. It is a man-made pond. The reservoir was around 60 to 80 acres, around in 2 parts. So we did survey everything, and we started from scratch. So we did all type of studies with the other floater suppliers, and we started with CNT. Especially CNT played a good role in that project. Seal and Tear, I think who's a global pioneer in floating solar.
Right.
And we tie up with them, and we give an order of 15 megawatt for them, and another 10 megawatt. We did our own floater manufacturing. We get patent from CSPDR. So I was in background that getting manufacturing, the floating solar manufacturing should be done in India. So I've been keen that my Indian background corporate company should start a floating solar manufacturer in their own. So we have been talking with CSPDR, that's mean Chanjiang Survey Design Agency, who did that pre-Gorgeous Dam project in China. They have developed their own floating solar floaters, pontoons. So they have from first generation to 5th generation. So we had a good technical TLA with them, and we got a floating solar patent to manufacture in Southeast Asian countries. So then we started there. It was a very challenging job. It is the first time in India, and people don't know how to do the floating solar. People think floating solar is nothing like the ground mounted solar, but it is entirely different, and it is like a filter type of, we will say in business marketing, we will say filter. So in business marketing and business development, they will say we want to filter the clients. Like that, we want to filter everything, and we want to do the floating solar in around 65 meter to 75-meter table. The string will be, most of the string will be only 65 meters, 75 meters length. So the entire 60,000 panels or 2 lakhs panels should be gone in a filter manner. It should be there. The entire BOS should be procured for floating solar. Normal ground mounted, first they design the layout, and first they will do the civil works, and they will do the structure grouting, other works, marking, switchyard works they will do initially in the ground mounted solar. But in floating solar, though the parallel works have been started, first the anchoring should be done.
Right.
Anchoring should be done. In our project, we did bund anchoring. It is a shore anchoring. It's not bottom anchoring. We did shore anchoring. So we designed a special equipment for that, and I was in that design team also. So I support. Given a very technical ideology on that part. So we have been done nearly 560 anchoring points in 360 surrounding of the lake.
Right.
Reservoir. 360 surrounding of the lake. We did nearly 500 anchoring points. We did. After that, so we JK, constructed a platform.
Can I ask a question here before we delve too much into the technical side of it? What's the differences between, I know the obvious difference is one is on land and one's on water, but what are the differences with the technology regarding the solar?
Technology, nothing but technology is not much different. Same solar module, inverter, SMB, all things are same. There is no changes in that. Only the MMS, module mounting system changes. Here in ground mounted, it is stable. It is a static system. It will not move here and there. In the floating solar, the entire system will move here and there, and it should be that cushion, that manageable cushion should be cable length should be given, and that kind of flexibility to the system should be given there. That's the thing.
So if there's no, again, JK, if there's no differences between the two systems, what are the benefits? And I'm sure there's benefits.
Let me come to it. Yes. Let me come to it. Here we use presently we have 560 modules, 600 watt peak modules. 4 years back, let us go for 2017. At that case range, we have very less range of module, 350 watt peak, 400 watt peak, and 250 watt peak was the general market scenario. So on that time, single ground mounted project needed in India, it's 5 acres. 5 acres of land is needed. 5.5 acres of land needed. But in floating solar, only 2.5 acres that needed to do that 1 megawatt solar. So 50% of the land, that area, coverable area is reduced. First thing, in floating solar, per megawatt required 2.5 acres. That will be the most beneficial thing. We reduce the area occupied. One. Second is water evaporation reduced to 70%. If the lake or it is a man-made dam, it is a pond, where whatever it may be, it reduces 70% of the water evaporation, and it not affect the biological life also. And even we did installation in 2020. We complete the installation in 2020 December. Now still that pond is running. The entire system is running good. 25 megawatt system is running good, as well as biological life in that pond was also good. Still they are getting fishes from that pond. Still biological life is surviving in that pond. So there are a lot of beneficiaries there. It is a fertilizer company, and they are using the water to only the plant for fertilizer manufacturing. For this case, they have two benefits. They have captive project. There's captive projects in this. And another thing is, they have done in premises, they need daily generation. This nearly 25 megawatt is getting now. So they have two benefits. They save the land cost and water evaporation in summer, because fertilizer plant is needed a lot of water. So they prevent the water evaporation, and they cost savings in land also. And they're getting the power. It's like a single stone, 3 mangoes.
But I don't understand. I don't understand how, if we've got land-based solar, we can put more on the water than we can on the land. What is the solution behind that? Why?
Okay, let me share my screen. Can I share my
screen?
Know
it's an audio podcast, so ideally you need to tell me.
Okay. Yeah. No. So there is a system. I'm planning to prepare a system. It's hydro floating solar hybrid. Means hydrogen. That means hydro energy. Wherever we used to build, already we are building a lot of dams in India. So where the dams have been there, we can add solar energy there. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can I hear you good?
Yeah. In hydro floating solar hybrid, we can use hydro control and solar energy by energy management system. So for example, in a daytime, we get full irradiation of solar. So we will generate full irradiation. So we will generate, for example, 1 megawatt for a floating solar in a reservoir. So the entire 1 megawatt is generated at night in a dam. So same time, in a night period, we will get irrigation. We can, no irrigation will be there. No sunlight will be there. We can generate hydro energy in night time. So the dual purpose can be solved by hydro floating solar hybrid kind of future that can be gone to anywhere in the world. Where is the hydro plant? So they can use these kind of things. Two beneficial things can be done. So in hydro floating solar hybrid system, one, full radiation will be in the morning and there is no radiation in the evening. So in the morning, they get sun energy. In the evening, they can get hydro energy. So they preserve the water evaporation. Three things achieved in there. Three major things. They have continuous power supply, continuous generation is there, and we reduced water evaporation. And these are the major three things: continuous generation, the renewable energy. Then it comes to renewable energy. The both solar and water. It's combines in hydro floating solar hybrid.
How do we get round? Because obviously, water and electricity shouldn't really be mixed. How do you get around the safety element of that? How do you get around the safety element of that?
Yes, we used all FRP trays. While laying cables in the floaters, we used FRP trays. FRP trays. That floater itself, the entire float, the island, let's consider as island. Lake, it is a lake. There will be a floating island will be there. We construct a floating island. That floating island has a tray. Like in the ground mounted, we put trench for cables. So in ground mounted, many of people put trench in the ground. So in spite of that, we will put cable trays and we will use XLP cables. So water resistivity cables shall be used there.
Right.
So high water resistivity cables, submersible cables can be used. Submersible cable can be used for over DC as well as AC, and we use pontoons. The entire cables floats on the pontoons. In the pontoon, we will put trays. So on the tray, we will put cables. So there won't be any issue. And the tray will be also flexible. It will be flexible according to the waves of the water. The tray will be flexible. The floater will be flexible. Even cable have a cushion to flexible, absorb the waves, absorb the water waves and water level variation also. For example, in the dam, there will be huge water level variation will be there. So for example, in winter season, we have higher of 100 meters and it will reduce up to 30 meters for in summer. So that level of variation is considered the floating solar. Up to 30 meters, 35 meters of variation, it is considered in floating solar.
And does the solar follow the sun? Can we adjust the angles of the solar, or is it flat? How?
No. We have territorial in floating solar. We have from 5 degree to 15 degree tilt.
Right.
5 degree to 15-degree tilt.
Right.
So any kind of in global, even northern hemisphere we can put floating solar. In China, the most frozen areas, most snow prone area also installed floating solar. So the material should be, the design should be made as per the global irradiation or environmental situation of that site. Every site depends upon the site. Design differs.
Yeah.
Floater design differs, anchoring design differs, and erection terminology also differs.
Right.
But in ground mounted, all of will be same. There is no changes in that.
Yeah.
But in floating solar, depends upon the pond, lake, reservoir, dam. Every design scenario changes and anchoring scenario changes. So the major key for floating solar is anchoring and floaters. Entire, let's say, entire 100 millions can be only depends upon the 10 millions of rupees. That means the floater supply will be around 10 to 12 million. Yeah. And our entire system cost will be 100 million. So 112 million. The only 12 million is will be the holding the entire next 100 million.
Yeah.
So the entire system is based in the commercially in floaters and anchoring.
So JK, we've so I've been doing some studies recently with green roofs, and you can hear that from a previous podcast with Ian Hamilton Gates. He discusses the benefits of putting plantage underneath a solar to reduce the temperatures of the solar. Now,
yes.
Is it another?
I missed that point.
Okay, thank you. Can you tell us about that?
I missed that point. Thank you, reminding me that will be 14% efficiency growth will be there. So due to the increase will be there due to the cooling effect of the module. So in the floaters there will be an open space will be there. So that involves in the cooling of the module. So that increase the normal generation. For example, we can say for an example, ground motor system generates 4.5 units per day for kilowatt, say, per kilowatt, say. Right. So in a floating solar, same system generates 5.5 unit to 5.5, nearly 10%, 10 to 15% hike will be there. Nearly we'll get 5 units per day. 5.2 to 5.3 units will be get the generation. Obviously, we will getting the 10 to 15% efficiency of solar module will be increased, and the generation also will be getting a cooling effect will be there. Modules reliability, modules lifespan will be increased due to the cooling effect.
Yeah. So JK, where's your personal passion come from regarding this technology? Where's that come from?
It is only it is a challenging way, because here people made it's not about people, it's about market, price prone market. Indian market is always price prone market. It's a very price sensitive market also. Very price sensitive. The ground mounted price gone very low, and the generation price, renewable energy power cost have been gradually decreased over a span of time before COVID. I am talking about the scenario before COVID. Okay, in that at that point of time, the new technology is coming inside to the market, Indian market, floating solar. And the thing is, the challenge it involves, because in ground mounted system has been stable there. In floating solar system will not be stable. We should be in care. It's like an building a complete life kind of thing. If we do any mistake while installation, it will be cost a very huge thing. So the challenge involves in that, the execution of the project. That's attract me to involve this. And the major thing is, next world scenario will be in two things: is agriculture. Water scarcity will be in global due to the global warming, climate change. It's all what we are doing in renewable energy. It's all come to a point in climate change. It's all goes to the single line climate change. We are facing a huge climate change reaction. For example, now I am at Mumbai. I am in Mumbai. So the gradual rainfall of Mumbai is much different than past scenarios. Now rainfall is too high, and in summer the Where summer sun's irradiation is also too high. The entire earth is getting warmer. So in this process, we will have a lot of scarcity of water, and there will be a drought. Very huge drought will be there. According to the global scenario, UN report says there will be huge drought will be there. And so to rectify that, every agricultural pond should be in floating solar. Water should be preserved. And power, majorly power cost rises again. Again, we need power. We need power. And we need agricultural land. We need agricultural land. So we cannot put solar in the land area like India, especially India. We have, it is the backbone of India's agriculture. Only agriculture is the backbone of India. No, now the industries are booming, softwares, IT people are booming, and industries are booming. But entire India depends upon the agriculture.
So this is
that should be stabilized.
This is a bit of a tough question. What's the percentage of the renewables in India currently compared to conventional fossil fuel? Is there a value that we're looking at now?
No. India have been achieved a lot. Last year back, before 2014, 14 at the time of Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister, it was very low range. Now it has been grown. That time in 2014, 15, they have been get a target of 40 gigawatt. Now it's gone to 300 gigawatt. We achieved 40, 50 gigawatt. We achieved 40 gigawatt of market. Now it is target has been raised to up to 300 gigawatt. And now I'm talking about the entire solar.
What's that as a percentage? Energy. What is that as a percentage? Do you know?
Percentage will be around 75%. We achieved 75% of the target, which that ministry has been given.
Yeah. And then my next trick question, I do apologize. What's the percentage of solar on floating solar compared to your percentage of
it will be only 10%. It will be only it will be only 1 to 5%. The scale will be 1 to 5% only presently.
So it's just getting going.
In a span, it is 1 to 5% will be the present scaling. In next span of half a decade, in next 5 years, it will be around 20%. Increase will be 20%. Overall 100%, floating solar will be 20%. Because India has huge dams, very large dams are there. Very large water bodies are there. So it can be utilized, and PCUs, public sector units, are working on that. So we are shooting up a lot of orders. And Omkareshwar Dam, in Omkareshwar, 300 megawatt has been awarded. Next 300 megawatt has still started working for that. So it will be next bigger project in India, nearly 600 megawatt of floating solar project.
And are there many JK, are there many organizations that are developing this system? How many companies out there that are boasting that they can do this?
For floating solar, nearly 10 to 12 companies are there. In that, pioneer is CNT, Sungrow, and the FOST, FOST, Hughes. We are trying into Indian market, as well as Yellow Troopers, as well as Quant in Indian market. Sungrow is also involving in Indian market, and ProFloat, Pinal Energy from Ireland. They are also coming into the floating market. Most of the people are entering into Indian market, and they have very good technology there, and we have healthy competition. Very good healthy competition in floating solar.
Good. Healthy competition will help drive costs down and make everyone honest. That's what I like.
Yeah,
so we've got profit with integrity.
That's the point
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And how does the technology, does it fluctuate between the different companies?
Yes. Yes, it depends. The design depends, and the load bearing capacity of the floaters depends. But more or less, the technology of floater will be same. But they have specifications of design, their own terminology. So they have their own terminology of load bearing capacity. They will say, for example, some X company says it is 1 ton Newton load is there for in floater year. And someone says, I have 1.5 ton. Someone says, I have 2 tons. That is a different will be there. More or less, the anchoring depends, based on the anchoring, the load shall be preserved. Load point shall be shared. So that is a major thing. More or less, technology is same, but they have preservative and they achieved. Based on their achievement, they are getting success presently. Their past achievement before COVID, many companies achieved some better projects based on their execution, level of involvement towards the project, the people who are working in the project. That shows the better effect. Now they are grabbing many more projects.
Yeah. And what's your personal challenges around this?
And again, I will say India is a cost sensitive market. And again, they will go for cost, reverse auction. Again, they will reduce the cost, and the cost will be it will again go it will hit to the technology, material. Again, these are the major challenge I am facing. The cost and the PCUs should understand the technology properly. That's the only challenge I am personally pursue that. PCUs, all public sector units should understand the technology. It's not like blow molding. They think floaters just a blow molding. It's not blow molding part. It is just a plastic. It is not a plastic bottle, water bottle. It is a technology that providing and stables entire 100 crores, 100 millions. For example, 100 millions or 100 billions will be bared in a 10 million of cost, product cost. So they should understand how the product should be there and designed, how we get a better output. The life of the entire solar plant depends upon the floating and anchoring. And this is a challenge. The floater anchoring and the floater product. These will be a toughest challenge. Based on upcoming projects, competition, the huge competition will be there. In the competition, they should maintain the technologies, and PCUs understand the technology. And PCUs should understand the situation, the momentum of the project. There is a momentum of the project. There is a life of the project. It is like a baby. From first year to 25 years, it should come. It's not like put a money, thousands of billions dollars into the water. So it won't be any, won't be nothing. There is a proverb, I think so.
Are we seeing customers?
Penny found foolish, something UK proverb is there. Penny found foolish. That proverb, exactly, I don't know the proverb, I forget. Penny found foolish and some proverb, I think you can get me on that. You can help me on that. Any proverb is there? Some can spend some pennies and get a pound. Any proverb is there?
Oh, so if you spend save your pennies and that will help your pound. Is that what you're trying to say? Or spending your pennies to create the pound?
Yeah. Spending a penny
save
pounds.
Can save pounds. Yeah. It's called spend to. Yes. You must have been looking at my post yesterday. I talked about spend to save. That's what we need to do as an organization.
That's the PCUs who understand. PCUs, EPCs.
Is there organizations out there in India that are embracing this and doing their own projects, or is it just mainly the generators and the suppliers?
I can't get you. Pardon, please. Once again, repeat the question.
So are there organizations or customers that are buying this system and developing the system themselves rather than the generating power station or the suppliers of technology?
No, we not like that. It depends upon the company to company. So most of the EPC companies have placed only EPC role. They place only EPC role.
Right.
They do only engineering, procurement, and construction part.
So we're not seeing
as a solution provider.
So we're not seeing big organizations taking it.
Yeah, I have seen that Penal Energy is taking as a developer mode in floating solar.
Yeah. So
it's mainly
the energy companies that are driving this forward.
Yeah. Now they are entering into Indian market. Pro Floating, Penal, some West-based companies are coming into India as a IPP.
Yeah.
They are coming as a IPP directly. Okay. But most of the Indian companies, companies place as a EPC role, and they are tie-upping with the technology provider, floating technology provider. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. So JK, it's come to that time in the interview where I asked my guest, and I put the guest on the spot, and thank you today for really sort of embracing the call. So is there anything that you personally can give back to our industry today as a takeaway?
Yeah. And it is a wonderful experience, Paul, that being in a podcast, I have been literally feeling very good in a good manner. And I feel that I have been expressing way that the technology should be grown. Technology in Indian market should be grown in a different way and should be adaptation of PCUs. Public sector units should be in a different manner. When public sector units understand the technology, offshore wind, offshore floating solar, then it will be more involvement towards the power sector will be grown a lot, and energy sufficient will be there. Then carbon footprint reduction will be a lot. That's the major key point, a takeaway point I want to say. PCU should concentrate on renewable energy, offshore and onshore floating solar projects, as well as wind. So it will reduce the footprint, carbon footprint.
Yeah,
that's a takeaway point.
And India,
and I want to appreciate you, and you are doing very good thing and connecting people to the globe, the entire globe. That's a very great, and I admire you. You have been last week. I have been studying you. Very good. It is a very admirable work you have been done. Very lot.
And I really appreciate
this point also. And this point also, you have been still towards energy business. It is a huge appreciation from my side. I appreciate that. Very good.
Thank you.
It is I am admiring you a lot. In entire life, I will admire you.
I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, and I feel honoured and touched that I've actually come into your world in India for that for you to tell me that. So I appreciate that. So JK, I'd like to say thank you personally for the work you're doing in the industry. I'd like to thank you for your time you've given today, and for the benefit of our audience. This is our third attempt of getting on here with technical issues, and you've done everything to make it happen. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
And
thank you.
Even before it was midnight, wasn't it? You come on the call. You're so dedicated to get on that commitment. Call. Yes.
I am dedicated towards my profession. I need my whole passion is world should be filled with renewable energy. Then the carbon footprint reduced. Then the world will be better place to live. Human can live, coexist with the all natural life.
Fantastic. So JK, thank you for joining us today, and please, you and your family stay safe in these times.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.